morning and welcome to Soldier Creek Bison. The area I'm feeding hay at this morning is roughly at the halfway mark of the property on the easternmost side. What's unique about this particular section of property is that there's a lot of fescue grass right here along this barn. I think they maybe stored fescue hay here in the past, and so because of that, especially around the pond dams, especially this area right here, there's a lot of fescue grass, which the bison absolutely love. They're unfortunately kind of beating up this area more than I would like. Now, I think the grass is ultimately going to be fine come springtime, but what I'm going to really do is make a concentrated effort to keep them off of this and the ponds and the pond dams, anywhere there's that fescue grass, especially during the heat of the summer months. So there's two types of hay that I normally feed. What I'm feeding predominantly this year is prairie grass. Prairie grass is the grass you kind of see all around me. It's very common here in Kansas. A lot of it comprises of warm season grasses. The other type of hay that I'm not necessarily feeding this year, but I fed a lot last year, was brome. And brome's more of a cool season grass. Probably has a little bit more protein. And I got it just because it was available at the time, and I definitely wanted to kind of throw out some more brome throughout the prairie if I could. So supposedly it had a lot of seed in it. Time will tell. I feed hay predominantly for two reasons. One, they're pregnant. I want to give them something a little extra, kind of help get them through the winter. And two, it's fertilizer. You hear me talk about organic material on the farm. We absolutely need that as much as we can. You know, a misconception with animals is that, you know, every time they defecate, they're producing, you know, more nitrogen on your property, more organic material. And just, I guess some degree that's true, but not necessarily. And here's why: because really all they're doing is taking what you have on the farm and just kind of recycling that and putting it back down on. Where here with hay, and I'm bringing hay in, I'm bringing something from outside in. So kind of helps fertilize the farm. I have enough grass. Granted, it's not good grass. It's probably about 3% protein. Buffalo needs somewhere around 5 or 6, probably closer to 6. Keep in mind they are pregnant too, so to me, you know, a hay bale's running, which I know it's cheap here compared to other places, but about $45, $50 a bale. So that's quite an expense as it adds up, you know, throughout the course of the winter. But in the long run, I think it's worth it because, you know, obviously it's helping these animals when they most need it. But they're looking good. Today is going to be a warm day. It almost feels like spring. It's probably in the low 50s this morning. It's going to be in the low 70s this afternoon. So you can feel spring, but I'm sure Old Man Winter still has it out for us for the remainder of February and March. But time will tell. So the process of feeding hay will continue until probably about mid-April. By about mid-April, the grass is really starting to come in good, and I can kind of get off of hay. Now I may sprinkle a hay bale or two out just to give them some roughage, because as that grass comes in, it's really green, it's chock full of protein, and make their stool kind of loose. And if you put out a hay bale, you'll find that they usually kind of supplement the green grass along with the hay. Now what you'll often see too is people burning prairie. Prairie burning is a big thing out here. It's you know, kind of late March. Yeah, I'd say late March. You'll usually see a lot of pasture burning. Maybe even some into April too, first week in April. I look at prairie burning as a tool. You know, if you've got the adage goes, if you've got good animal impact, you don't necessarily need to burn. It's not to say I won't burn, but I'm not a big proponent of burning. I probably will burn maybe once every 5 years, something like that, but I'm not going to burn religiously every year. I want to see what the animals do, along with some of the practices that we're doing, and kind of see how the land responds. Like anything, you have to kind of just listen to Mother Nature and see what's working and what's not, and make adjustments as necessary. And see younger bulls horse playing, and I guess they're getting ready to be adults. I got asked by a viewer, do the bulls get along? And for the most part they do. If you get them really worked up, if I get them running around and the females included, they seem to get boisterous. They want to horseplay. They're like a diesel engine. Once you get them going, they're kind of hard to stop. And so the bulls will fight. I won't call it fighting because it doesn't seem too aggressive. It's more of like a rough horseplaying. And they'll push each other around, but I haven't seen anything serious yet, and hope not to, honestly. I like to think that there's enough ground, there's enough ladies for all of them to go around. It's good to hear the birds back. This morning I heard a red-winged blackbird down by one of the ponds. And if you're not familiar with that, I encourage you to kind of look it up. It's a beautiful sound, at least I love it. It reminds me a lot of my childhood. And what I like about that is obviously it's spring. It tells me spring's coming, summertime's going to be here. But I hope they're here not a little too early, because like I said, I still think it's going to get cold here for February, March. But it's good to hear the birds back. Really excited to hopefully see more tree swallows. I need to go around and kind of clean out all the birdhouses. We probably have 50 to 60 of them scattered throughout the property, and need to kind of run the fence lines and kind of clean those out. It's about that time. And that'll give me a better indication too of how many nesting birds, did we have. And hopefully they were all tree swallows. Well, I know it's a bit like Groundhog Day, another hay bale, right? But it's something we got to do to get through winter. But rest assured, things here at the ranch are always changing. Soon we'll have baby calves dropping left and right. We'll be doing rotational grazing. We got the ponds coming up. There's ranch chores to do left and right. So appreciate you guys tagging along. Hope you enjoyed. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk soon.